trapped. Mitch McDeere's impossible choice in the firm. I thought I had my life figured out the moment I walked across the stage at a Harvard Law. Third, in my class, fielding offers from every powerhouse firm that mattered, I was ready, maybe even destined, for Wall Street. That was the plan, at least, until a small Memphis tax outfit called Bendini, Lambert, and Locke stepped into the room and changed everything. They weren't the biggest name on my list. Still, they offered something no one else did. A sense of being wanted, almost celebrated, along with a salary and benefits package so generous it bordered on surreal. I told myself they must have seen something special in me. It felt good to believe that. Abby, my wife, and I packed our lives and headed south. Memphis welcomed us with warm breezes and the kind of southern charm that made us think we'd stumbled into a long overdue vacation we somehow got paid to take. The firm set us up with a house that seemed too luxurious for a couple just starting out. Neighbors brought casseroles, colleagues invited us to gatherings, and everyone in the office carried themselves with an air of polished confidence. It felt like joining a family, an exclusive, affluent one, and we were the newest favored children. At first, I was proud of the hours I put in and the trust they placed in me. Big-ticket clients, high-level tax strategies, and a sense that I was already climbing toward partnership. But the longer I stayed, the more I felt something tightening. Not physically, but atmospherically, as if the air around the firm vibrated with secrets no one talked about. The partners liked to brag about their perfect retention rate. No associate had ever quit, they said, as though it were proof of the firm's legendary loyalty. At the time, I laughed it off. Why would anyone want to leave a place like this? Then came the news that 2 young partners had died in a diving accident off Grand Cayman. Everyone in the office mourned, but beneath the sadness, I sensed an odd stiffness, like the grief was rehearsed. The more I listened, the more the details didn't quite match up. I tried to shrug off the unease, but another detail would surface. Another strange rule. Another reminder that security protocols bordered on paranoia. Doors that should have been open were locked. Files that seemed routine were restricted. And at every turn, someone was watching, listening, quietly evaluating. Eventually, the feeling became too sharp to ignore. I started connecting dots I didn't want to see. Just as the picture began to take shape, the FBI stepped out of the shadows and into my world. They knew everything, or close to it, about the firm, its clients, its money, its iron grip on every employee who walked through its doors. And they wanted me to help them. Their message was simple and terrifying. If I didn't cooperate, they'd tear apart everything I'd worked for. They had enough leverage to ruin my career before it truly started. But if I did cooperate, the firm wouldn't hesitate to destroy more than just my reputation. According to the FBI, the firm had a long history of ensuring silence, and those diving accidents were only the latest reminders of what happened to people who stepped out of line. I felt trapped in a tightening vice. Every choice led to disaster, professionally, personally, or mortally. I couldn't talk to Abby without putting her at risk. I couldn't trust the partners who'd once seemed like benevolent mentors, and I certainly couldn't ignore the FBI, who were now shadowing my every move with a mix of urgency and threat. Each day, I walked into the gleaming office building, smiled at familiar faces, and pretended everything was fine while my mind raced for an escape route. I wasn't ready to sacrifice my future or my life to protect a firm whose secrets were darker than I'd imagined when I signed that contract in Boston. However, I also wasn't ready to become a pawn for federal agents who saw me as a tool rather than a person. Somewhere between loyalty, fear, ambition, and survival, I began to wonder if there might be a third option, something no one else had considered. A way out of the impossible box I'd been shoved into. The question was whether I could find it before one side or the other closed in for good. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more book summaries and insights. Feel free to check out another video or dive into the full playlist you see now for more great book summaries. Click now and keep exploring.